Now here's an interesting scenario to think about. Imagine that you literally know nothing. Nothing about your own birth, nothing about your own world that you live in, but you do have one single strand of knowledge in your head, and that is how to kill. Not just kill, but to kill without mercy. So, knowing that, what would you do with your life? Would you continue living your life just as it is, or flee and explore a whole new world? Sounds interesting? Well, that's basically the backstory of the main character of this manga that we will be discussing today. It is called Road to Kingdom. And if you don't realize it yet, this one is not for children or the faint of heart. Now, remember when I said that this manga is not for kids? Well, literally in the first page of the manga, we see some cheeks getting clapped. Be sure to censor that, be sure to censor that. I'll just make the entire page censored. So, the story starts off with the main character trapped in a prison-like place. He has no knowledge about where he is, nothing previous, and he doesn't even know his own age. But the dude knows one thing, and that is to kill. And the prison he is in isn't normal. It's a place where the inmates are forced to take part in a death battle against each other. And if they lose, they die. If they win, well, you might get a chance to be sold to the noble family as slaves. Well, that's the definition of slavery for you. And for some reason, the main character is really good at fighting. Well, fighting is probably not the best word to use here. Maybe mercilessly killing the opponent and traumatizing the readers. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. One day, he kills another opponent ruthlessly, his usual routine at this point. But this time, he gets called upon by a noble family. But first, they'd like to see his skills. And the seller, without thinking, gives the main character a sword to demonstrate his skills. And he does so by killing them. After that, he escapes from the prison to a world he knows nothing of. And the main character was now part of a group of bandits, killing, looting, and violating women were their routine day work. And the main character was just there to kill whenever they came across a strong fighter. But one day, their group came across an isolated house within the cursed forest. And there was only but a single woman living there. Yeah, not suspicious at all, right? What could happen, right? Wink, wink. Yeah, you're picking up what I'm putting down. Well, turns out that girl was a freaking vampire. Now, who could have guessed that? But the fact is that the bandit members didn't know that, so they decided to have a sweet time with that girl. But she had her own plans. And to start things off, she sucked the blood right out of the leader of the bandits and almost turns him into a freaking zombie. Seeing that, the whole group immediately attacks her, including the main character. But she kills the whole band in one single blow. But somehow the main character survives the attack. And seeing that, the vampire was impressed. She allows the main character to live, but under 4 conditions. The first condition was that the main character had to rebuild the girl's house, which he and his group members broke. Then the second condition was to get rid of all the dead bodies. The third was to willingly let the girl suck his blood. And the fourth and final condition was that the main character had to live with her. Not as her slave, but here as her student / boyfriend / husband / whatever the hell you want to call this weird relationship. It's just weird. And that's because the girl was a descendant of a royal family who was more than 1,000 years old. And thus their life in this weird relationship began. And as you perverts had already guessed, their life had a lot of clapping and banging. A lot of clapping of hands and banging of drums, if you know what I mean. Oh, nothing abhorrent or sensual, just wholesome YouTube sweetness. That's all. Please don't ban me. And if you were thinking if it took them some time to get attached to each other, no. Their sweet love started from their very first night. But that wasn't the only thing they did. The vampire girl used to teach the main character about the world, its geography, the culture, and all that other crap. They lived a life in which they were surprisingly happy. For 2 years. The main character got stronger in strength, knowledge, and also in bed. But one day, the girl states that she has left to teach the main character and asks him to leave this place and explore the world. And the main character, who is deeply in love with the girl, asks her to come with him. But she denies it, and rather gives the main character another quest to fulfill. She asks him to come back to her, only if he becomes king. Well, easier said than done. That's not an easy first challenge, is it? Anyways, she gives the main character a whole new set of armor, weapon, and a cape for his journey. And is it just me, or does the dude look like Guts from Berserk? Oh, I guess that's just another manga that won't get a proper anime adaptation. Coming back to the story, the main character leaves the Cursed Forest and heads straight towards the north. And during his journey, he decides to stay in a random town for some time. And there, in this town, he finds out that a wolf hunting event was going on. And if you are wondering what the hell is that, well, as the name suggests, it's a tournament where the participants hunt down deadly wolves. But here's the twist. It's not just any wolves. They hunt down wolves that have transformed into half-demons. So without thinking too much, the main character decides to take the path of the event, and so goes to the inn. And there, a beautiful waitress welcomes him in, takes a bath, and leaves. And while going to the event, he even helps out a poor girl. And there he finally reaches the destination of hunting. And there he teams up with two hot chicks, I mean girls. So all three of them go deep into the forest, and it doesn't take long for them to encounter a pack of hungry wolves. But rather than fighting together, the main character puts up a bet that if he kills all of the wolves, one of the girls has to let him play with her breasts. Hey bro, maybe this is just me, but don't you literally have a wife back at home? Dude is literally Denji wearing Guts' costume. And for some reason, one of the girls agrees to it. So without further delay, the main character uses his weapons and kills each and every wolf mercilessly. And after that, as promised, he cops a feel, and we can all see Denji taking notes in the corner. After that, the three of them start to head back to town, but they encounter another group of wolves. But this time, the pack was led by a demon wolf. The main character, being the Chad he is, takes care of all the wolves by himself yet again. And yes, he does have some problems with the demons, but he takes care of it in a short time. And after that, finally, they head back to the village. The main character gets rewarded with a bunch of gold coins, which he, being a man of culture, distributes to the other two girls. And after they celebrate their success, the black-haired girl who lets MC cop a feel, they say that she wants to have a sweet time in bed with the main character. And the main character, again being a man of culture, immediately agrees to her proposal. And so, just clapping of hands and the banging of drums happens again. Let's go. Everything wholesome here. The next morning, they decide to spend the reward money to buy necessary items. The main character and Blackhair, they decide to go buy a horse. There, they find an overpowered horse with awesome speed, a perfect suit for the main character, but for some reason, the horse was a frickin' pervert. Are the horses in the main character just blood-related by any chance? Anyways, the main character understood the assignment and bribed the horse by using the black-haired girl. And now the dude has an overpowered horse as well, as if he wasn't overpowered before. So after that, the two girls and the main character decide to head towards the village of the Ponytail. But before they go, something happens. Remember the poor little girl the main character helped when he first came to town? Well, she asked them to give her a lift, as her village was only just a little far away from their original destination, and they agreed to start their trip the next morning. But before the main character goes to sleep, the waitress of the inn arrives in his room. She confesses that she has a crush on the main character, and you don't even need to guess what happens next. A whole audience of claps, yep! And then the next morning, they start their journey. They keep traveling towards the north, but before they could reach the Ponytail Girls' village, they were attacked by a group of bandits. And so the main character, again flexing his big ol' pecs and his combat skills, takes care of all of them. After that, they reach the village. There, the chief of the village greets them. He thanks them for taking care of the bandits, but says that he has no money to repay them, as their village is kinda going through some tough times. But even though their village is short on money, they do have quite a few select very beautiful girls. So I guess we all can see where this one's going, huh? So let's go right to that act. At Frisky Time, the main character has a full-on harem with not one, not two, but 6 women. Anyways, if you thought the dude was done, hell no. The very next day, he even goes with Ponytail Girl. God, someone stop this author. Just good grief. I mean, I understand wanting to have plot, but at this point, it's just, I think we're having more plot than plot here. Anyways, that day, the black-haired girl and the main character start their journey to drop off the little girl at her village. But when they get to the village, What they find is a poor family consisting of a 15-year-old sister and her injured mother, whose half body was burnt due to an accident. In seeing this condition, the main character offers to heal the mother with the medicine he has, but he asks for one thing. The dude asks to make sweet love with the mother. Now, you're probably gonna agree with me here, but I'm starting to seriously doubt the morality of this character. And, sadly, the mother accepts. So the main character used his medicines, and within a very short amount of time, she was all good. And the author of this manga sure knows how to draw a beautiful woman, doesn't he? Ugh. So the mother and the main character get straight into business. And man, the main character here is literally banging every woman he sees. One thing I'd like to draw your guys' attention to is that the house they were living in had only one room. So the two of them did all that indecent stuff in the presence of the two young daughters. Yeah. What the hell is wrong with this author? This is even more messed up than Chainsaw Man. Well, that madness lasted for 10 days. And after that, the black-haired girl started to leave, but before he left, he raises up the daughter. Yep. And before I could even scratch my head in disbelief, I remembered that the main character himself was only 17, 18 years old, and then I remembered all of the things he did. And it even got more messed up. Just what the hell, man. Anyways, the main character and black-haired girl leave the village and head to town. And there he gets greeted by a bunch of knights who knew him from the wolf hunt. And they offer him a very dangerous mission, to which the main character accepts without thinking too much. But this time, he decides to leave the black-haired girl behind. And this really saddens not the girl, but the horse! The poor guy, poor soul. Man, I don't really have any empathy towards it. And with that, the journey officially begins. Well, that was a recap for today's video, guys. I covered chapters 1 to 11 in the video, so let me know in the comments if you want a continuation of this manhwa. Also, let me know about what other manga recap you want me to do. And if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and press that subscribe button. Also, turn on the notification button so you never miss an update from us. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.